Congressman Khanna, who serves on the House Armed Services Committee. He's also a member of the China Select Committee. Congressman, thank you so much for joining us. I do want to start with the Secretary's recent trip to China. He spent 2 days in Beijing. And ahead of the trip, this is what you had to say on Friday. Take a listen.
It's good that he's going. I would define success as just opening the lines of communication. If we can get military to military contact back.
So, Congressman, that did not happen. Are you surprised that China once again rebuffed U.S. calls for direct talks between the U.S. and Chinese militaries? Because that's where we have seen some of the biggest friction lately.
Alex, I'm disappointed that China didn't agree to that very common sense measure. But I believe Secretary Blinken's trip has been a success. He met with Xi Jinping. He has reestablished the political lines of communication. He's set the stage for the president to meet Xi Jinping. And we just need to emphasize that even at the height of the Cold War, we had military to military communication that's good for the world. It's good for both people.
But by your own standards, the measure with which you set the bar, how can this be considered a success? The State Department had said before the trip that the goal was to prevent the two countries from miscalculating, from veering into a conflict. Here, we have no progress on the defense chiefs speaking to each other, no sign that these confrontations out there in the Taiwan Strait or the South China Sea are going to stop anytime soon. Isn't there a lot more that should have been done, that may have been done in these meetings in Beijing?
Alex, it was a 2-day trip, and the full context of my remarks, I said it's not even clear whether Secretary Blinken would get a meeting with Xi Jinping. I think that was an enormous step forward that Xi Jinping met with Secretary Blinken, said that we want to have stable relations. And Secretary Blinken was very firm that there cannot be any military invasion of Taiwan while affirming the one China policy. It has opened up political communication. I think the secretary was candid that he would have liked to see military to military communication, but it should be obvious that that's not because of a lack of Biden administration efforts. That's a lack of China reciprocating. And I don't understand why they wouldn't want to safeguard their own people from an accidental conflict.
Yeah, it certainly would have been a very strong signal had Secretary Blinken not gotten that meeting with the Chinese president. Congressman, I do want to ask you about Ukraine. The Ukrainians have taken back some ground, but it is very slow work. This is clearly going to be a very difficult fight. Do you think that to some extent expectations were set too high ahead of this counteroffensive?
Well, first of all, there is support in the United States Congress for the Ukrainian people to protect their sovereignty. And I plan to continue to support the Ukrainian people against Russia's unjustified invasion. But many of us have known that this is going to be a long fight. This is not going to be easy. And I don't think we should be expecting overnight success in the counteroffensive.
No, and it certainly will not be overnight success. But they have been armed for quite some time with Western weapons and a good amount of training. So certainly there is a lot riding on this and a lot that the West expects them to be able to do against these Russian forces that are extremely dug in. Congressman Khanna, thank you very much for your time this evening.
Thank you, Alex.